Bar wheat, grana wheat, niddy bong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. Before we go into another news roundup of things that I've collected from around the internet, I'd like to say a big shout out to everybody who's been liking, sharing and subscribing to my channel this month. In fact, a couple of days ago we finally made it to 300 subscribers. David McNichol became my 300th subscriber. Thanks for leaving me a little comment down in the bottom of the videos to let me know that you'd subscribed. That was absolutely great. Really enjoying the interactions that we have on this channel, so massive thank you to everybody who's supporting me. First of all, guys, I won't be covering anything in this around what happened on Friday with the Pulse Fan First Friday. I have a separate video for that, so please go and check that out, but see my thoughts on the whole thing that happened on Friday. But just a spoiler, I thought it was a little bit lackluster. Some people disagree with me, which is great. We can have that conversation down in the comments, but for me it was very much lackluster. So moving on then to, we've seen some of the Earthrise Wave 2 Deluxe figures in their packaging for the first time. So we see our Alicon, we see the Deluxe version of Smokescreen, we see RC, and we also see Airwave. Looking very nice in the boxes. Nice view window here, and as we know, they always have fantastic artwork on the side. Out of these three, I'm not bothered about Airwave. I probably won't pick it up. Definitely got my fingers burnt a little bit with Ironworks. The base type things for the minicons are not really for me, but the other three I'll probably pick up. I've got the pre-order in on Helicon and RC already, so yeah, really hyped for those. And Blue Streak, Smokescreen I will probably pick up as well. So yeah, really looking forward to 3 of these 4 dropping. Then we move on to a couple of figures that are actually coming out in the Generation Select line. They've been found on eBay, and they're coming up in the Generation Select. And there's 2 characters that we got from the Dreamwave continuity. So the first one is Grease Pit, and Grease Pit is a recolor, Decepticon recolor of my favorite character, Ironworks. Anybody who knows, who watches this channel regular, knows I really don't like this figure at all. It's a recolor, but they have, at least, even though it's a recolor, they've given him a little bit of a different type alt mode, and they've given you a couple of little extra bits. Grease Pit obviously was a minicon that turned into a 4-wheel drive, I think, and came with a little gas station, and now you can get just the figure that turns into a gas station. It kind of reminds me quite a lot, this one actually, of maybe a Mask playset from back in the day. If that little sign opened up and guns came out, very reminiscent of one of the play sets from Mask back in the day. I wish they'd redo Mask. If they ever redo the Mask, expect me to start covering Mask on this channel as well. That's when I definitely become a dual brand thing, because I love Mask as well. And we are also going to get Exhaust. So Exhaust is a recolor of Wheeljack's figure, with a different head sculpt, which is always nice when you do a little bit of a head sculpt. One of my pushbacks on Friday from the Centurion, or which it's spelt slightly weirdly, is that it's just a silver brunt. No resculpt, no nothing. At least with this one we are getting a slightly different sculpt on the head. Looks nice. I'm not overly familiar with Exhaust as a character. Again, plays a very small piece within the Dreamwave continuity, hence the reason I think that he has that different badge. But it looks pretty cool. It's one that I'm not sure if I'm going to pick up. The Wheeljack figure is nice, but I don't really know enough about the Dreamwave continuity with Exhaust to really go ahead and pick this guy up. But 2 fairly nice looking figures. Then it is the year of the Menasor, 100%. This is the year of the Menasor. So Magic Square have said that they are going to do a Menasor as well. Why not? What we need right now is another Menasor. So this will be 4th or 5th Menasor now. Obviously with Magic Square it's less detailed, less difficult transformations. I don't know any Magic Square, but I don't think they use any die cast within their figures. I could be wrong here, but they're on a smaller scale. These are on your more of your deluxe type scale, I think, rather than being masterpiece type size. And you can see here these are the unpainted ones. So drag strip looking looks okay. You know, it's kind of somewhere between the way that these newer ones like the Fans Toys and the X-Transbot's doing it, and somewhere between that and a G1. You can see there it looks okay. You know, it's not coloured yet, but everything's quite flat. There's not really a lot of detailing in this. It'll be interesting to see how difficult the transformation is on these. I don't think that Magic Square do very complicated transformations. We move on then to Dead End, and Dead End looks okay again, but pretty flat. Posability on these guys looks like it should be okay. Then Breakdown. Breakdown's figure looks okay. Obviously it's a Lamborghini when it transforms. That'll be really nice, I guess. But you can see here that there's massive, the windows are going to split in half and all kinds of things. You can really see the transformation lines on this one. Then we have Wildrider's bot mode. Wildrider's bot mode looks pretty good. It looks like it's got some quite good detailing here on the face. Posability looks like it will be okay. The bot mode, the alt mode, sorry, looks like it barely holds together though. I hope that these mock-ups are not really reminiscent of what they will look like, because those lines are huge and it doesn't really even, if these are supposed to be product shots to get you excited, then the bot modes look okay, but every alt mode the lines just seem to be so big and it doesn't really look like it holds together at all. This figure, be interesting to see the finished pieces and see what the paint jobs are like. They're usually quite matte finish on some Magic Square figures. We then move on to looking at their version of Moto Master, who looks very similar to their version of Prime. I think they're trying to, obviously this is him in comparison with Prime. They've obviously used quite a lot of the moulding from Prime for the cab, and then the trailer, as with a lot of these Menasors, will turn into the body of the combined version of Menasor. Combined version of Menasor looks actually quite good. You can see how it all fits together. The trailer will become Menasor and everything will just kind of attach onto the sides. You can see there how they may even split in half. That doesn't look like there's a connecting piece there. When you see drag strip on the side, it looks like you're just going to split drag strip into two pieces there and attach him to one piece and the other piece. The sword kind of hides whether or not you can see it connecting, but I think that the cars are going to split in half and then connect onto the trailer, which is an interesting way to do it. Magic Square obviously do a lot of simpler transformations, but quite effective on that. I think it looks nice. And then we're going to move on to another version of Menasor. So this is another version of Menasor. This version of Menasor is actually one of my favourite versions of Menasor. So this is Havoc. This is Transformission's version of Havoc, and I think that the original version of this looks so nice. It looks absolutely beautiful, and it's definitely something that I really am keen on picking up. And they just dropped some product shots of their new version of this, their chromed out version of this, and this looks incredible. Pre-orders are up on this already on AliExpress and some other places. It looks really nice. As we go through, you can see here drag strip looks very nice in his shiny gold. It doesn't seem to have the guy sitting inside like the X-Transbots version does, but this just looks so beautiful, shimmery, chromy. I've never owned the Transformission product, so can't speak to the quality of these, but certainly from these pictures they look absolutely great. This version of Dead End looks really good, absolutely beautiful. Then we move on to this is Dead End. Dead End's Lamborghini looks really good. Looks like a really updated version of these sports cars as well. So I think this is something that I really fancy picking up. We then move on to their version of Wildrider, who the whole thing just looks incredible. So shiny paint, love the red tint on this one. Very nice. And then finally we move on to Moto Master, who just looks incredible. Shiny blacks, purples. Anyone who watches this channel knows I love my black and purple Decepticon Transformers, and this looks awesome. But for the pièce de résistance, look at them in their combined mode. Havoc, or Menasor, is probably my favorite version of Menasor that I've seen combined. I think it just looks absolutely incredible. I love that they've kind of updated the design. They've not really tried to make it look G1-esque. I like it when these third parties chuck their own thing at it to make it look like that figure, but chuck their own spin on it, and this is definitely their own spin on Havoc. Absolutely beautiful. I have seen some complaints around the ankle joints on this figure, so it'll be interesting to see if any of those have been fixed. But for me, this is something that, if I can justify it, I'm already collecting one Menasor, and this is a fairly pricey Menasor. I've seen this up for nearly £300 up on AliExpress, and obviously this is going to be fairly expensive, so in dollars wise I think that's getting close to $360, something like that. So it's a pricey figure, but it looks absolutely beautiful. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Which Menasor are you guys going with? I know there's a huge push for the Fans Toys one at the moment. I'm still collecting the X-Trans bot, still trying to get that Wildrider. I'm waiting for the trailer to drop as well. I can pick up Wildrider in yellow, but I can't seem to find the original Wildrider anywhere. So if anyone wants to drop me a link down in the comments on where you can get the X-Transbot Wildrider at the moment, that would really help me. So guys, what do you think of these? Are you excited for any of these new releases? Are you hyped about Grease Paint and hyped about Exhaust? These two figures that you've been really looking forward to. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright guys, in a bit. Peace!